Greetings, I'm André Antunes and I'm going to talk about one of our internal projects here on GDT called Our Will, which is about an adventure into the Nordic mythos. This is an adventure RPG with turn-based combat, heavily focused on the narrative and the player's choices that can drastically change the story and the outcome of the adventure. It basically follows a non-linear storyline. It has 2D hand-drawn visuals, very inspired in the comics of the 80s and 90s, an art style that I will show you in more detail in a bit. The world of our game takes place it's called Jotunheim, and it's a land unknown to mankind, deep embedded in Nordic mythos, very mysterious and ominous, with creatures humans only heard in tales and legends. The characters, as the player, will be in a world where clearly there are forces at play much more powerful with intentions that cannot be comprehended. Things that will make the player and characters question what is real and what is not. With creatures and structure that dwarf anything mankind has ever built. Here the will and determination and cunning of the player and characters will be tested. The narrative starts when a group of warriors arrives to this land, this precise group of warriors. Their village is cursed by a disease that has no cure, and that they suspect to be of divine making. Through the words of an oracle, they go to this land in search of a cure, or someone to cure it. And the player takes control of Astrid, the chief's daughter, the one in the middle, as she leads the party that is clearly more experienced than her, and it will be her task to make the right choices, earn the respect of her colleagues, find the cure, and mostly survive all the dangers that lurk on this ancient land. Now talking a bit about the art, the look and feel of our game is really important, and following the inspirations of games like Banner Saga and Ash of Gods, we decided to go for this hand-drawn style, with a precise line, a simple and contrasting color palette, great attention to detail and heavily saturated colors. We created this comic book style of visuals that help us give life to our game. We have taken the Scandinavian landscapes as our reference for this land, of course. The goal is for everything to have a gloomy and grey feeling, cold feeling that induces a sense of mystery and the notion that we can't see everything. Additionally, most components will be huge in terms of scales, mountains, creatures, constructs. We will enforce a scale that will clearly make the characters and the player feel small and powerless, feel they don't belong to this land and that it is much more ancient than mankind. As for the characters, we have a lot of Viking inspiration for their attires and items and armor, with notions of Nordic runes and contrasting colors, so each character can be easily identified. The idea is also for the characters to stand out from the greyish and cold backgrounds. We will also have creatures based on Norse mythology, and paint them with the natural components mixed with the more fantastical one, as you can see here, for example, bears with trees going out of their backs. The backgrounds are very detailed, as you can see, and to accelerate the process of making them, we have divided it into two parts, two components. The line arts and scene composition first, with different shading to give a sense of depth, and then the second part, the coloring and the texturing to give them life, reaching the final result you can see here on the bottom right. Always maintaining that sense of mystery and coldness that this land gives. Occasionally, at key moments in the story, there will be small cutscenes to give life to the most important and cinematic moments. They have a storyboard creation process, as you can see here, that focuses more on cinematography than the actual animation. So these cutscenes will have like 4 to 5 frames, with small components moving to give a sense of motion that otherwise will be static images. As for the gameplay, we have 4 different components, as you can see here on the slide. Its main anchor will be the traveling cycle, here in the middle, that binds everything together. Our companions will be traversing this huge and unknown land, and the player will accompany them. Then, there will be, of course, during the travel, events that will take place, mostly dialogue scenes, a bit like a visual novel, where the player will make choices and talk to the other characters, and here the narrative will advance, and with the wrong choice of words, the player can lose the game. being this cycle the main responsible for the ramification of all the storylines. Besides events and dialogue, there will be battles between the party and the native creatures and beings of this land. This will be the meat of the gameplay, with a system loosely based on battle chasers and ranking games. It will be turn-based, and it will have a wave system of enemies with a maximum of 6 characters in combat, 3 on each side. The game strategy will focus heavily in team rotation, with each party character having a very specific set of abilities. Our most unique component will be the weakness wheel. Every enemy will have one, and contrary to most games, the enemy's weakness will rotate during the combat, forcing the player to anticipate these rotations and bring into combat the right characters at the right time to capitalize on the enemy's weaknesses. Finally, at the end of each traveling cycle, there will be campsites where the party will heal their wounds. This will be safe havens where the player will be able to level up their characters, check their status, check the diary, and get ready to continue the adventure. Finally, now talking a bit about more of our team, this is it. We and the way that we are divided. We have a team of 9 people, so we are quite a big team, with 4 on the programming side and 5 on the art side. Additionally, me and Marie have narrative responsibilities since the narrative is so important in this game. Inside this division, we all have our specializations, and we are expected to participate in the weekly meetings, give and receive feedback from everyone. We have a very comprehensive ability to everyone's work, and we try to adapt our tasks to everyone's availability. So if somebody has academic responsibilities in a certain time frame, they will have the freedom to focus, of course, on those responsibilities and alter a bit their contributions to the project. Additionally, we have some in-person meetings in Tagus Park, in GDT room, and in Lab Jog's room, to work together and have some team building activities, including going to the cinema and watching movies for research purposes, of course. So this is it. This is our will. A game about the strength of man's will and the greyish line that separates good and bad decisions, where the old Norse gods and creatures challenge the player to succeed in their quest. Right now we need artists for animation, UI and background specifically, so if you are interested, please react to this post and feel free to ask any questions. We are here for that precisely. I know it might appear that we are quite demanding in terms of quality of work but you don't have to already be proficient to join the team. We expect you to learn and grow during this project. The most important thing is for us, of course, is to above all you have the dedication and desire to see this game come to life. So if you have that, even if you think that you don't have the necessary abilities or the necessary knowledge of some components, you can join the team and we will be happy to have you. So this is it. I hope you liked, and kind regards from all of our team. And basically, see you soon.